I am also telling you the same about with the drama, the birthday party. And the title of my presentation is the important things for the birthday party. And which things that I am going to discuss is the interrogation scene and the birthday party scene. First, let's do the interrogation scene. We all know that whenever any writer or playwriter writes any drama, then he will always he or she will always give a special treatment to such selected scenes, and in such a way that he or she will give his all to that scene, that it becomes highlight of the whole drama. And it becomes we can say that he gives his midas to that thing that to bring the expected conclusions for the drama or novel. Exactly, we can feel for the birthday party for two measures in the interrogation scene and the birthday party scene, in which we can't say that we can have freedom of interpretation for all the situations and all the dialogues, because here I have tried to connect all the things together, that how critics and readers have interpreted all both these things in such a way and in different ways. Interpretation things first. Interpretation. We can see interpretation from the various perspectives, that comedy and menace has been used in the same act. Then verbal violence, physical violence, language, power transformation, silence and tone, mystery and ambiguity. First, I want to deal with comedy and menace. That's how Pinker has used comedy, means how he has created menace to the use of comedy and to the language. Comedy and menace. I have chosen some lines from Voltaire's speech, and when he asked, when Voltaire and Macon start a rapid fire round of questions to Stanley, that why did you kill your wife? Why did you never get married? Why did you change your name? Is number 846 personal necessary? Why didn't you pay rent? What about Ireland? Why did you chicken cross the road? Chicken egg, it stands for what makes you think you exist? Here in this thing, Macon does not give time for even a single second to Stanley that he can reply. But through this we can see that how he interrogated comedy and menace at the time. We can see that how he has asked the question that why did you kill your wife? And at the same time he asked why did you never get married? Then the language also creates the trigger to the Stanley's character, that what will be what is going to with him in his next. So here we can see that how he has interrogated comedy and menace together. Then verbal violence to physical violence. Here I have divided this into 3 points. That X starts with the verbal violence and ends with the physical violence. When Macon starts asking questions, then Edgerton Wolverine comes there, and then starts rapid fire round with Stanley, and then we find that so many questions are being asked to Stanley, and he has not been given a time even to reply, or even to have a single take a breath. And Stanley is humiliated and degraded by two government. In such a way they ask questions, and they are trying to torture Stanley in such a way that he couldn't answer for any questions. Then a bit of violence. Stanley is Walter in stomach and Macon is Stanley. In reply to Walter and Macon's question, suddenly Stanley takes force and suddenly he kicks Walter in the stomach. So here we can say that how verbal violence change into physical violence. Language. We can in this thing we can see that how language has been functioned by speakers, and we can see that how language has revealed many things. First, unlocked many secrets, creates ambiguity. Language is contradictory and irrational. First, unlocked secrets. We have shown that when Walter is asking question that why did you kill your wife? Why did you never get married? At the same time, it creates contradictory. If he is married, then why he is asking that why didn't you get for the reader. Then unlawful secret, that maybe he is married or not married. We don't know, but it's great secret, secret. Then why don't you pay rent? What about the island? So we can see that somehow Stanley has a connection with this whole thing because nobody asked the question without any relevance. Then contract irrational, that chicken and this came first. There is no need to ask this kind of question here in this rapid fire round, but still he asked. So it shows that it's language unlawful secret creates ambiguity, contradiction, and irrational. Then comedy, that how Pinter has used language to produce comedy. That when Goldberg asks a question, then Stanley replies in such a way that it creates comedy with meaning also. That when did you come to this place? He easily answered that last year. Then he replied that somewhere is. Then when he Goldberg asked why did you come here? Then he easily asked that my feet means my feet hurt, and why did you say I had it? Such kind of question and answer create comedy through the and minutes together. Power transformation, Goldberg, Stanley and Stanley to Goldberg. In this thing, we can see the up-downs of power position. That first, Mason tried to empower Stanley by torturing him, by asking so many questions at the time. Afterwards, Stanley suddenly exposed, or we can say the silence, and suddenly he keeps Goldberg in his stomach. At that time, Stanley is at the power position. He keeps Goldberg, and Goldberg is in periphery. While suddenly after kicking Goldberg, Mason also tries to Mason also hit him. At that time, we can see that how the power transfer from Stanley to Mason or Goldberg. Or in this sense, we can say that here we can see the power transformation from Mason to Stanley, from Stanley to Mason to Goldberg. Then silence and force. In this thing, Pinter has used silence and force twice. Once when Stanley was being asked by the Goldberg Mason so many questions, and after being so much tortured, and he suddenly didn't answer and take pause and silence. After at that time, it suggests that there is something wrong going to happen in this thing, in this situation, and suddenly Stanley kicks the Goldberg in his stomach. So here we can say that this silence suggests something, a dangerous situation, that upcoming dangerous in the life of all the characters. Now the birthday party scene. One more difference between both things are that in the introduction scene we see more verbal dialogue and lesser action, but in the birthday party scene we can see that there is more dialogue and more action has been taken by the characters. We can see more action in this scene, that which creates ambiguity, terror, and build-up of terror and violence. During this, we can see so many actions is being taken place by all the characters. First, we see that how they are playing the game of blindness love, then beating of drum by Stanley and breaking of spectacles by the Mackenzie. There are such situations which create feature under the character or even in the mind of readers. First, throws light on the character. During this birthday party scene, Pinter has thrown some light on every character. First, we talk about Stanley that after introduction scene, in which he was subjected by the Mackenzie and Goldberg, he remained silent throughout this scene and didn't utter any single word throughout the scene. It also shows that his mental condition, that in which condition he is now. Then if we talk about Goldberg, then Goldberg appears as a powerful character during this scene because he appears as a powerful speaker when he gives his speech. So for Stanley, for his birthday party, which is arranged by Meg, he gives his speech for Stanley, and we can also say that how he appears also as a powerful in such a way that he convinced even Lulu. Lulu, even that he asked easily, directly to Lulu to put down in his death. So here we can say that government has come more powerfully in this, and he has expressed every aspect of his character in this sense. Then we can so Meg, that Meg's attraction towards Stanley comes to this high, in full, he expressed his attraction for Stanley in full, in such a way, and that we can see easily that how much he is attracted towards Stanley in her speech. We can see that how much she has attraction to Stanley. Then moral degradation. Here we can see that how in the 20th century people are losing their moral values. We can see the lacking of moral values. When Goldberg asked Lulu to sit in his lap, at that time we can see that how in the 20th century not even men but even women has lost their moral values. At the same time, we can it reminds me that the theme of our Indian great Mahabharata, that how in Mahabharata even Duryodhana has asked Draupadi to sit on his thigh, but here even Lulu it's a modern Draupadi that even Lulu is ready to accept this offer and sit on his thigh. Here we can see the moral degradation of the people of this 20th century, and we can say that all these characters are representing really in real sense the human beings. Then symbolism letting of spectacle. During the birthday party night, Lulu asked to play any game, and they decide to play game of blindness block, and during that game, when Stanley's turn comes, at that time Megan wears his spectacles. It also suggests that what are they going to do with Stanley, and we can easily get that after this thing, maybe we will not be able to see Stanley again. Then beating of drums. During that game, we can see that suddenly there is blackout. There is no light now, and suddenly we can hear that someone is beating drums very powerfully from the outdoors. And at that time we can see that the tree is on the high peak of the graph, that something wrong will be happen. It creates a cheated and terror in the characters, all the characters, and even in the mind of readers, that how everything is what happened suddenly and why it happened suddenly, why there is a blackout and everything. And during the blackout, we are shown that Stanley has tried to get Lulu. And at that time we get and the Stanley didn't answer anything, and he was taken by Goldberg and Megan. But here one point is that if he has tried to get Lulu, then why he has tried to get Lulu? Because in the beginning we are shown that Lulu tries to attract Stanley towards her, but he didn't even give a single symbol that he also wants to have relation with Lulu. If he wanted to have relation with Lulu, then he would have easily convinced her. But why this kind of situation has been created? Or we can say that maybe Goldberg and Megan has put Stanley towards Lulu to show that maybe Stanley has tried to rape Lulu. So in this thing we can see that create ambiguity for the reader, and Pinker has not given perfect ending to the this end, and we reader always giving ambiguity that what is the exact reason. Is it possible that Stanley has really raped Lulu or not? So the both things create ambiguity in the reader. At the same time, gives the joy to readers to read this and create interest in the minds of readers. That's what